he went with me to this test, and he spent 2 days in the garage area, in the stands, like watching and learning the track. And I don't know, he's just been really good there ever since. I would say it's his best track by a pretty long ways.
I'd say there, Martinsville. I mean, he's got 2 or 3 that are creeping up. Phoenix is probably his best. Martinsville and Loudon now are right there with, they're close.
21 starts in Phoenix, 2 wins, 11 top 5s, 15 top 10s.
That's pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
15 out of 21 times he's been in the top 10.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. But my favorite part of that story of taking him to that Phoenix test was we get like to the end of the second day. And, you know, if you ever do tests, everybody knows like the end of the second day is like silly time. You get like when there's like 2 hours left in the test, the end of the second day, you're like,
yeah,
we've ran through this list of things we're going to try on the car, and we have more data than we know what to do with. We're down to like our worst ideas because you prioritize your best ideas while you're there, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. Well, let's throw this at it. All right, so we get to like the end of the second day, we're like done. We're out of ideas. Blaney's sitting there. We're like, hey, Blaney, you want to run a few laps? And now, keep in mind, he's 18. He's never drove a Cup car before.
Yeah.
He's like,
back then,
he's like Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights. I want to go fast, you know? And we're like, all right, let's go ask NASCAR if you can get it, because NASCAR had to prove,
of course,
letting someone drive the car. So we walked over to ask NASCAR.
Well, that's not too hard.
Yeah, the approval process is easy.
Yeah, and, well, we thought it would be pretty easy. And they were so pissed at us. Like, what do you mean you want Ryan Blaney to drive it? He's not a Cup driver. Only Cup drivers could drive these cars. You guys know that. You shouldn't even ask us that. And they were mad at us that like 4 months later, I want to say it was exactly 4 months later, we got a penalty at Texas for the rear end kind of moving on the car. And we get this penalty at Texas. And in the penalty process, they brought it up. They're like, you guys are always doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. Like when you asked about putting Ryan Blaney in the car at the test at Phoenix. So we're like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Like, we asked. Are you saying that we're in trouble again for asking? Like, this is the... Anyway, so that was my Ryan Blaney Phoenix story. I don't even know if Ryan knows that story. So we're in the penalty meeting, and they're yelling at us about Ryan Blaney not even getting in the car, but just asking about him driving the car. Anyway, that's Bizarre World, but I've got a lot of weird stories like that.
What did you get in trouble for that you got called in there? Was that when you were messing around with Denny? Like kept running?
Man, you got to be more specific. I got called to the hauler a lot of times early in my career.
It was, it was from Phoenix. That's what it was from.
Oh, yeah, when never got wrecked each other? Yes.
Yeah, Denny went down on turn 1, shipped you up the track. You go through 3 and 4, and you spin Denny out. So you go into the hauler, and they want to meet with you. You think you're going to get in a lot. Well, you do.
Okay, all right. So you want me to tell this whole story. Okay. So this is Phoenix 2009. Travis, you're going to appreciate this story because it's a Denny Hamlin story.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to appreciate it or not. But
we're beefing. Denny and I are beefing, pretty hard. I'm not even in the Cup Series at the time. I'm in the Xfinity Series, trying to make my way to the Cup Series. Denny and I are beefing. I'm in my last races with Junior Motorsports. And we're like third in points, pretty much locked in third in points. That's about where we're going to finish. So it's kind of like end of the school year. Like, you're not going to get a better grade. You're not going to get a worse grade, but you still have to show up for the last 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And so we go to Phoenix, which is the next to last race. And I think we're running like 5th or 6th. And Denny's running right behind me. And he goes in the corner, and he like...
It's a restart.
It's like a restart. He nudges me a little bit, like muscles by me. And I go to the next corner, and I dumped him. I did. I dumped him. He didn't like hit the wall, but he just spun out.
He spun out. Old Phoenix.
And we had been trading kind of barbs for like a year. He would say stuff. I would do stuff, And so when the race was over, he went to NASCAR and basically said something like to Helton, you guys got to do something about it. That's ridiculous. He spun me out. And so I get a call from NASCAR, and they say, hey, Sunday morning, our hauler, be there. We're going to talk to you. Like, I can pretty much tell you what I'm going to get my ass to. Okay. So I show up to the NASCAR hauler Sunday morning. It's the Cup day. I'm driving the car for Roger Penske that day. Is one of my first starts for him. And I go to the hauler, and I'm going to go get my butt ripped. And I walk in the hauler, and it's Mike Helton. And I want to say John Darby was in there.
Probably Darby.
And I don't remember if it was Robin Pemberton or Steve O'Donnell. That part escapes me.
You didn't want to be in there.
I did not want to be in there. No,
nobody
wanted to be
when you got called to that holler, you knew you were in some trouble.
So I go sit down, and Mr. Helton starts talking, and he's like working his way into the butt chewing. Like, he doesn't just start with it. He starts with like the, hey, do you want to be here? Do you like this sport? And you're like, I know where we're going. You're just like putting in your time. And so he's like warming up this conversation to a full butt chewing, right? And I could feel exactly where it's going. And about that time where he's warmed up into the, get your straight part of the conversation, Brian France opens the door and walks in. Now, keep in mind, this is a hauler. Smells like cigarette smoke.
Small lounge.
It's probably like the size of this table is this lounge. So there's like 3 or 4 people in here. It's pretty full.
Yeah.
And there's a small refrigerator in the end. So Brian walks in. He like stands in the middle of all of us, and we're all kind of like staring at him. It's Brian France, kind of runs the sport. And there's a little bit of a pause. Then Mike Helton starts talking again. And Brian's kind of like standing right in the middle, and he turns around and goes in the refrigerator. He like looks through there. He's like, oh, a bottle of water. I want to say he grabbed like a small Kit Kat or something. And he turns around and just kind of stares at Mike, stares at me as Mike's talking to me. And then he just looks at Mike and says, whoa. Are we yelling at Brad right now? And I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? And Brian looks at Mike and he's like, no, don't yell at him. What he's doing is awesome. And I'm like, now I feel like I'm in a mom and dad fight.
It's good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on here. And Mike is Mike's kind of like this isn't how I wanted this to go. And like basically just like kicks me out of the room. Like, just go. Like,
get out of here before it gets worse.
Get out of here before it gets worse. And I'm like, did I just get out of that one? Did Brian just do me a solid? What happened here?
So that was the end of getting in trouble.
That was the end of that was that's my favorite Brian France story. And no, he did me a real solid. I was really appreciative of that. Mike and I got over. I think Mike was really mad. I think that made Mike Helton madder at me. You know
Who
what I
would
mean?
you be
Like
more scared of being mad? Brian France or Mike Helton?
Oh, definitely Helton.
I know.
Yes. Yeah. And to some degree, Mike and I have a good relationship now. I probably call him once a month.
He's a great dude.
About different things. He's a great dude. But at that time, it was like I was 23, 24 years old. Mike Helton ruled the sport with an iron fist, and I was like, oh,
if you had a meeting with Helton in bad, like you didn't want to go.
No.
Like it was bad.
Did this help prompt the Have At It boys?
It was right before that. Yes. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was Pemberton. Now that you say that was in the room. Ryan Pemberton was in the room. And it had to be like another month later where Have At It boys came out.
So fans, you're welcome. Thank Brad and Denny.